Hi vinyl community, it's Michael. Welcome back to Near Wild Heaven. Today's video is going to be just even more vinyl finds. So let's get started. First up, this is the Bow Street Runners. This is from 1970. This is a Sundays reissue from 1996. This is really good. It's garage psych. Really good harmonies, really good guitar work. These guys look pretty young. It's a good album though. I enjoyed it. Bow Street Runners. It was pretty cheap too, so that was right up my alley. But really good pop psych, garage psych. Good stuff. Up next, this is White Lightning, Thunderbolts of Fuzz. This is, I'm not sure when this was recorded. There's not a lot of information on here about, well, there might be. No, there's no information on here about when this was recorded. But this is on the Riding Easy label. Came out in this year. But really good 70s, early 70s hard rock. Great guitar work, great vocals. A little bit of Zeppelin-like hard rock, Black Sabbath, stuff like that. If you enjoy that kind of stuff, this is a great album to get. Really, really good. I'm really pleased with this album. And up next, we got, this is The Pretty Things, Emotions. This is from 1966. This is a reissue from, I think, the late 70s. It's like this Pop Legends, it says there. So it's like a part of a reissue series from back in the late 70s. But excellent album from the Pretties. This was a transitional album for them. Some of the original band members had left and was replaced. This was the first album where all the songs were written by the band, and they were starting to explore the more psychedelic sounds that they would have on their next few albums after this one. But really good stuff. Still a little bit of the R&B raunch that they were known for at the time, but great Pretty Things album. I'm trying to get all their studio albums. I had some compilations of their earlier stuff, but now I want to get a hold of all their albums. So this is a great album to get if you're into the Pretty Things. The Emotions. And up next, I showed this one, well, not this particular pressing, but this is Electric Prunes Underground. This is a mono edition. I have the stereo edition I've shown before. But this is pretty good. I found it pretty cheap for about $15. It's a little scuffed up, but it plays beautifully. And you all know this album. It's like a big psych album in the vinyl community. A lot of people have this, but it's great to have the mono version. Compare it with the stereo version. This sounds a little more punchier, if that makes any sense. But yeah, it's a great album. I love the Electric Prunes. So happy to have a mono version of that. And up next, this is the Ohio Express. I think it's Yummy 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 down at Lulu's. This is really good. It's a mix of bubblegum stuff and pop psych. This is one of the few bands that was on Buddah that was an actual band. Most of the bands that were on that label, the people you saw on the cover were not the actual band. The band was a bunch of studio musicians, but this band was an actual band, and they do play on most of this. I think there's a few songs that are session musicians, maybe more the more bubblegummy stuff, but the psych stuff on this is really good, and I'm so glad to have this. This was recommended by Cosmic Brian. Of course, everybody knows he's a big bubblegum freak. So, yeah, this is good album. So, Ohio Express. And also on the Buddah label, another band that's an actual band. This is the Lemon Pipers. Their second album called Jungle Marmalade. This one's pretty good too. I like this one about as much as I like their first album. They do play on all the tracks on this. And, yeah, it's just a great psych album. A little poppy at times, pop psych, but really good stuff. The Lemon Pipers, Jungle Marmalade. Up next, this is one I've been wanting for a long time. I finally found it. This is Blossom Toes. We Are Ever So Clean. This is a reissue from 2006 on Karma Records. This originally came out in 1967. I don't think this was ever released in the U.S. at the time when it originally came out, but it's really good pop psych. Reminds me a little bit of early Pink Floyd or July, bands like that at the time, but this is really good. I really enjoyed this one a lot, and I heard or read that their album they made after this was totally different. They went to a more hard rock sound. They made this album with Giorgio Gomelski. The name might sound familiar to some people who are like into 60s rock. Like he produced like Yardbirds. I think he was also their manager for a while. But he started this record label called Marmalade, and these guys were the first band that he signed to the label. And as a favor to him, they recorded this album in the pop psych vein. But when they made their next album, he told them that you can record anything you want. And they did. They recorded like a more hard rock album. And I'd like to get a hold of that too. But this is really good. Really good pop psych. Like I said, in the vein of early Pink Floyd, July, Tomorrow, bands like that. It's really good stuff. I'm so glad to have that. Up next, this is Tucky Buzzard. This is their first album from, I think 1971, maybe 1970, I'm not sure. But really good. There's some water damage right there. But really good stuff. Like hard rock mixed with some prog. They use a keyboard player on this, but really good harmonies, really good guitar work, just great stuff. You know, this band at one time was managed by Bill Wyman of the Rolling Stones, and before they were Tucky Buzzard, they were a band called The End, who had released one album under that name called Introspection, a really good psych album. I'd love to get a hold of that, but unfortunately it's kind of expensive. Even the reissues of that album are like over $100, so it's kind of out of the question right now, but this is great. This is really good hard rock, heavy sounds. If you like that kind of stuff, you might want to check these guys out. They got a couple other albums out too. I haven't really heard those, but this one I really enjoyed it. Really good stuff. Tucky Buzzard, their self-titled debut. Up next, this is the Third World War. Really good. This is a British band. This came out in, I think, 1971. It's good blues rock. The singer has like he sounds a little bit like Joe Strummer. He has a gravelly voice, maybe like a little lower octave than what Joe Strummer sings at. But this is pretty good. If you like bluesy hard rock, this will do it. And I really like the label on this album. Really cool. It's on the Fly label. Look at that Fly on there. Yeah, it's the same label the Move were on at one time. The British independent label. But yeah, really good stuff. Also comes with this lyric sheet. Just a great album to have if you like hard blues rock. Pretty good. The Third World War. Up next. This is an upgrade for me. I was surprised to find it for as cheap as I did. This is the Kinks Arthur. I paid like 20 bucks for this, and it sounds really good. It's an upgrade from the copy that I had, or still have. But yeah, this is a great album. It's their follow-up to Village Green Preservation Society. This is on the Orange and Tan Reprise label. It's in really good shape. A lot better shape than the one I have. So good. And great songs on here. Victoria. I love that song. That was covered by The Fall, like sometime in the 80s, when they were trying to be a little bit more commercial. And this also came with, I can get it out of there, this little thing there with the lyrics on the back. Really good stuff. So there you go for that. The Kinks Arthur. Up next, it's a band from Australia. This is the Masters Apprentices. This is their first album from 1967. This is a 2015 reissue from Australia on the Astor label. But really good stuff. Kind of pop psych, a little bit of garage rock, like in the same vein as probably Chocolate Watch Band and the Standells, Shadows of Night, bands like that. But this sounds a little bit more polished than those bands. I don't know, the production was done pretty good on this stuff. But great album. They got like a few more albums after this. I think they were together until 1973, I think. So they got like at least 2 or 3 more albums after that. I'd really like to check them out. But this is great. It's really good. Like I said, garagey, Chocolate Watch Band, Standells type stuff. But so good. Masters Apprentices from Australia. And next, this is them, self-titled. This was the this is the 4th album they made after Van Morrison left. This one leans toward a little more hard rock, It's still got some psych elements in it. Really good guitar though. Uh, Great vocals on this. I don't know what more to say. It's just a great album. I do think there are other ones earlier than this. The two before this one I like those a little bit better than this one, but this one still has some great stuff on it. So there you go for that. Them. This is on this label out of France. It's a reissue label. I think they're unofficial. Other albums are on Discogs are unofficial releases, but the label is called Klimt, Klimt. So there you go for that. Them. And up next, just a couple more here. 3 more. This is Dementia 13, Mirror Mind. This is from 1987. This is Garage Psych. This band was from Ohio, Hamilton, Ohio. I think that's somewhere mid-state, maybe near Columbus. But really good stuff. Garage Psych. These guys put out a few other albums besides this. This one, like I said, this one's from 1987. I think it's like their second album. They have one before this and then a few more after this. But really good stuff. If you're into Garage Psych, you might want to check these guys out. I love the artwork on this. Really intricate. But yeah, good stuff. It's Dementia 13. Next up, this one is this is another upgrade. This is David Bowie, Ziggy Stardust and Spiders from Mars, Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust. Everybody knows this is a classic album. I don't know. They put the slick on the back cover upside down from the front, so I don't know if this would be like a rare pressing or something. I don't think so, but kind of unusual. But still, it's an early press. I don't think it's the first press, but it is from 1972. But great stuff. I had the reissue from 2014 on Parlophone. I mean, I had this album when it first came out as a teenager, and you know, I didn't take care of it. You know, it was all scratched up. I lost it somewhere along the way. But later on, I had it on CD for a while. Then I got the Parlophone reissue, which I still have. I'm going to keep. But I wanted early pressing of this, a U.S. press, and this is it, and it's good. It comes with it's on the orange RCA label, and it has the original inner sleeve with the lyrics. So, but classic album, classic David Bowie. Everybody knows this album. Everybody probably owns it in one form or another. So, there you go with that. David Bowie. Really good stuff. And finally, I am a sucker for Velvet Underground bootlegs. And I got this one, the Velvet Underground. This is live at the Gymnasium in New York City on April 30th, 1967. This is put out by, I don't know if you can see that, but it says the Velvet Underground Appreciation Society, which was a fan club that started like not long after the band broke up. But the recording isn't that great, but it does have some good moments to it. I mean, there's a unreleased song on here called I'm Not a Young Man Anymore that sounds pretty good. A lot of the songs, well, not a lot, but some of the songs, Lou Reed's vocals kind of drowned out everything else. But when they get into the like instrumental jams and stuff that they do, especially like on Sister Ray, which takes up all of side C, this is a 2-record set. But the instrumentation is just really good on this. I wish it was a better recording. Like I said, some of it sounds decent. I'm not saying it's a great recording, because it's not, but some of it sounds decent, and some of it's a little bit, like I said, Lou Reed's vocals overpower everything else. But still, being a Velvet Underground fan, it's something I really wanted, and it's not as bad as some of the other boots I've heard by them. But there you go, Velvet Underground. So that's it for this week. I want to thank everyone that subscribed to me. My subs are going up, and I'm happy about that. And I'm so glad everybody has been so nice and subscribing and leaving more comments. So thanks a lot, VC. Thanks to everyone who subscribed. And I'll see you soon on my next video. Bye-bye.